Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्रीमद् भागवतम by his divine grace AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are reading from Canto 3 chapter 28 Kapila's instructions on devotional service. So we are in the first section of this chapter where there is a description of the various limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, text 1 to 12. This is the section. So we have very briefly seen Ashtanga Yoga means there are 8 limbs. First 5 are the preparatory limbs, and then next 3 they are the intensified limbs. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara. These are the preparation for Dharana. Dharana is meditation on the Lord. Then there is dhyana. Dhyana means intensified meditation on the Lord. So intensified dharana is called as dhyana. And that's why this entire yoga system is also called as dhyana yoga. Ashtanga yoga is also called as dhyana yoga because purpose is to come to dhyana. And then there is samādhi, which is deep absorption in the Supreme Lord. So we come to text 5 now. मौनं सदासनं जयः स्थैर्यं प्राणजयः शनैः प्रत्याहाराश्च इन्द्रियाणां विषयात् मनसारधि. Translation.
One must observe silence, acquire steadiness by practicing different yogic postures, control the breathing of the vital air, withdraw the senses from sense objects, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart. Purport. The yogic practices in general and Hatha Yoga in particular are not ends in themselves. They are means to the end of attaining steadiness. First, one must be able to sit properly, and then the mind and attention will become steady enough for practicing yoga. Gradually, one must control the circulation of vital air, and with such control, he will be able to withdraw the senses from sense objects. In the previous verse, it is stated that one must observe celibacy. The most important aspect of sense control is controlling sensual life. That is called brahmacharya. By practicing the different sitting postures and controlling the vital air, one can control and restrain the senses from unrestricted sense enjoyment. Hare Krishna.
So the next is maunam. One must observe silence. Sadasanam jayasthairyam. And one should acquire steadiness by practicing different sitting postures, yogic postures. So there is purpose of yoga, and the purpose of yoga is to attain steadiness, right? And then there is the next is controlling the breathing, prāṇāyāma shanaihi, pratyaharascha indriyana. And then one should control the breathing of the vital air, withdraw the senses from sense objects, and thus concentrate the mind on the heart. Why the heart? Because this is where the Vishnu Murti is being situated. Riddheshe Arjuna Tishtati. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the yogic practice in general and Hatha Yoga in particular are not end in themselves. Right? They are preparatory stage, and ultimately they conclude with Lord Viṣṇu only. That's what we have seen. that the yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, they are all preparatory stage for dharana. Dharana is general meditation on the Lord, and then dhyana, which is intensified meditation on the Supreme Lord. So meditation on the Supreme Lord is the main part of Ashtanga Yoga. Right. Further, Srila Prabhupada writes that the mind, one has to sit properly. So this is one of Prabhupada's very celebrated instruction, that japa record we have, and Prabhupada says in between, sit properly. And then devotees are chanting and sit properly. So this is, sitting properly. That means sthairiam is very important. In Pune, we have one wonderful devotee. His name is His Grace Rasa Vigraha Prabhu. And he very strongly advocates, sitting chanting. He says that you should sit and chant. And not only sitting and chanting, he said that one sitting you should complete 16 rounds. Of course, even I am not able to do that. But the point is, this is where we have to reach to. So he has very strict rules. One should chant before 7:30 in the morning, one sitting all 16 rounds, and he himself does it. Okay, he's such a busy personality. He's a director of institute. But morning 16 rounds, he will do one sitting chanting. Evening 16 rounds, he will do one sitting chanting. And very, very steadily. And he talks also very strongly about this. So this is about sthairiam. Next is, Prabhupada says, the most important aspect of sense control is controlling the sensual life. So this is very important. Okay, one should not do the two mistakes. One is, mistakes with related to Aishwarya and mistakes related to Bhoga. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasattanam. So here Prabhupada very clearly talks about this. And better to be on a safer side, on the, on a conservative side, right? Conservative side. Safety is more important than returns. Okay. So, and that is called as brahmacharya, Prabhupada says. By practicing the different sitting postures and controlling the vital air, one can control and restrain the senses from sense enjoyment. So how we sit, how we chant, how we conduct our day, it has tremendous impact on our chanting. And chanting comes in the category of dhyana and samadhi. Okay. So this is how text 5. Come to text 6. स्वधिष्ण्यायानामेकदेशे मनसा प्राणधारणं वैकुण्ठलीला अभिध्यानं समाधानं तथात्मनः. Translation.
Translation: fixing the vital air and the mind in one of the 6 circles of vital air circulation within the body, thus concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called samadhi or samadhana of the mind. Purport: there are 6 circles of vital air circulation within the body. The first circle is within the belly, the second circle is in the area of the heart, the third is in the area of the lungs, the fourth is on the palate, the fifth is between the eyebrows, and the highest, the 6th circle, is above the brain. One has to fix his mind and the circulation of the vital air and thus think of the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. It is never mentioned that one should concentrate on the impersonal or void. It is clearly stated, Vaikuntha Leela. Leela means pastimes. Unless the absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, has transcendental activities, where is the scope for thinking of these pastimes? It is through the process of devotional service, chanting and hearing of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that one can achieve this concentration. As described in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Lord appears and disappears according to his relationships with different devotees. The Vedic literatures contain many narrations of the Lord's pastimes, including the Battle of Kurukshetra and historical facts relating to the life and percepts of devotees like Prahlada Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, and Ambarisha Maharaj. One need only concentrate his mind on one such narration and become always absorbed in its thought. Then he will be in samadhi. Samadhi is not an artificial bodily state. It is the state achieved when the mind is virtually absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Next is Swadhishnayam. So one has to fixing the vital air and the mind in one of the 6 chakras of the vital air circulation within the body. So this is describing about the Shada chakra, that is the Kundalini chakras. Okay. And concentrating one's mind on the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So the more important here is concentrating mind on the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. This is very important, right? Many times people have the idea about Kundalini and they want to Jagrut Kundalini, but these are all on a material platform, material, or you can say semi-spiritual platform. The spirituality element of Dhyana Yoga is absorption on the Supreme, Vaikuntha Leela Smaranam. So, and that is called as Samadhi. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, there are 6 circles of vital air circulations within the body. And these are like, one will know all this, the chakras, and there are specific names of these chakras. There is a, Sahasrara chakra, Manipura chakra, Mooladhara chakra, Anahata chakra, Vishuddha chakra. So these are, these are the Shada chakras which are there within the body. And the yogi who is on the path of Ashtanga Yoga, we are not on the path of Ashtanga Yoga, we are on the path of Bhakti Yoga. Okay. So we don't have to go in detail about this. There is a circle, there is a chakra within the body, the area of the heart, area of the lungs, palate, eyebrows, and the highest, the 6th circle is above the head. So there is called as a Mooladhara chakra, then there is called as Swadhisthana chakra, then there is Manipura chakra, then there is Anahata chakra, then there is Vishuddha chakra, then there is Agya chakra, and there is Sahasrara chakra, okay, which is on the top of the head. So Sahasrara chakra. And one focuses the air circulation within the body, and then that is not end all be all. Then next is one has to focus on the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada says, unless the Supreme has a form, how we will have pastimes? So this idea that one has to meditate on something void or something one's own imagination is completely bogus idea. Yeah, this is correct. So these are the Shada chakras. So this is unless the Supreme Lord has pastimes, there is no question of unless the Supreme Lord has a form, there is no question of pastimes. So the most important aspect of Dhyana Yoga is meditating on the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And the Lord also comes in different relationship with his devotees. Lord comes as Yashodanandan, Parthasarathi, right? Then there are so many different incarnations of the Lord, forms of the Lord. And he comes and saves the lives of personalities like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. Prabhupada says, one need only to concentrate his mind on one of such narrations and become always absorbed in its thought. Then he will be in Samadhi. Samadhi is not an artificial bodily state. It is the state achieved when the mind is virtually absorbed in the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right. So when we are absorbed in the thoughts of Bhagavatam, we are in Samadhi. Right. So this is the Samadhi of a devotee. Samadhi of a devotee is not inactive Samadhi. Samadhi of a devotee is he is highly absorbed in the message of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and the activities of devotional service. This is Samadhi. Text 7. एतैरन्नैश्च पथभिर् मनः दुष्टम् असत्पथम् बुद्ध्या युञ्जीत शनकैर् जितप्राण हि अतीन्द्रितः. Translation.
By these processes or any other true process, one must control the contaminated, unbridled mind, which is always attracted by material enjoyment, and thus fix himself in the thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Etairanasya. The Chandal Yoga process entails observing the rules and regulations, practicing the different sitting postures, concentrating the mind on the vital circulation of the air, and then thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his Vaikuntha pastimes. This is general process of yoga. This same concentration can be achieved by other recommended processes, and therefore Annaischa, other methods, also can be applied. The essential point is that the mind, which is contaminated by material attraction, has to be bridled and concentrated on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It cannot be fixed on something void or impersonal. For this reason, so-called yoga practices of voidism and impersonalism are not recommended in any standard yoga shastra. The real yogi is the devotee because his mind is always concentrated on the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, Krishna consciousness is the topmost yoga system.
Now, by these processes, which all processes which are described till now, and if you count one after them, 1, 2, 3, 4, we beginning with text 2, Swadharmacharanam Shaktya Vidharmascha Nivartanam Daivabalabdhena Santosha Atmaviccharanarchanam. These are the 4. And then Gramya Dharma Nivrittischa 5, Moksha Dharma Ratisthatha 6, Mitab Medhyadanam 7, Shashvat Vivakta Kshema Sevanam 8. Then Ahimsa 9, Satyam 10, Asteyam 11, Yavadartha Parigraha 12, Brahmacharya 13, Tapaha 14, Shaucham 15, Swadhyaya 16, Purusharchanam 17, Maunam 18, Sada Sananjaya Sthairiyam 19, Pranajaya Shanai 20, Pratyahara Indriyanam Cha Vishaya 21, Manasa Rudhi 22, and then Manasa Pranadharanam 23, and Vaikuntha Leela Abhidhyanam 24. So by these 24 processes or any other true process, so any other true process is direct engagement in devotional service. This is pure devotional service. Directly, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayor. This is the any other process. Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayor. So by these 24 processes, what is to be done? One must control the contaminated and unbridled mind. Right? So, in fact, one can very closely see when Dhyana Yoga is being proposed to Arjuna, Arjuna says, my dear Krishna, I can control the wind. Vayurim, chanchalam himana Krishna pramathi palavadridam. Yasyaham nigraham manye vayuri vasu dushkuram. He says that I can control the wind, my dear Krishna, I cannot control the mind. And therefore he says that please tell me something different. And now, by these 24 processes or any other true process, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayor, one has to control the contaminated and unbridled mind. Right? One can never trust one's mind. So this is very important, and therefore, following Vaishnava etiquettes, following Maryada is extremely important in one's life. And what is the qualification of the mind? What? The mind has done PhD in what? Mind which is always attracted by material enjoyment. Dushtam asatpatham. The mind is dushtam, mano dushtam asatpatham. Right? So this is the second line. Etair annaischa pathavir. Etair, either by this or annaischa pathavir, by this path, manor dushtam asatpatham. One has to control the mind which has natural tendency to go towards asat and dushtam. That the patha, the mind naturally takes. And then, Buddhya Yunjita Shanakair. Thus fix himself in the thought of the Supreme, and one should control one's mind like this. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, the essential point is controlling the mind, which is unbridled, and the mind, unbridled means, it is like when you have a horse and which is gone, lagam chhod diya hai horse ka. The horse will just run in all different directions. That's how the mind will run in all different directions. Senses will run in all different directions. So this is called as unbridled. So we have to control the mind and then concentrate on the Supreme Lord. Yato yato nischalati manas chanchalam astiram. This is Bhagavad Gita, right? Yato yato nischalati. And thus one can, Prabhupada says, therefore, fixing the mind on the Supreme, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayor, is most important thing. Of even the Dhyana Yoga, people are generally get lost into Yama, Niyama, Pranayam. They will do different 10,000 types of asana, and sometimes you will see some videos. These small little boys and girls, they will do such kind of asana. My God, looking at asana only, many times I have backache. I have seen such videos. They will, any part of the body will turn in any angle and can come out from any other part, like that it is. So people will get lost in pranayam or asana, or they will get lost in kundalini, chakra rising, and the byproduct of all these are the mystic powers, which is a deadly combination to make completely yoga brashta. A devotee of the Lord focuses, and all this is for what? Mana, mana, dushtam asatpatham, to control the mind, which is naturally attracted to asatpath. Then what devotee of the Lord? Devotee is very, very chatur. Ei Krishna Bhakta, say Bada Chatur. So what devotee will do? Devotee will directly engage mind in the service of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna Padaravinda. Your senses are also automatically engaged. So externally, a devotee may not look very accomplished personality. Not that he has some, a perfect fit body which can just turn and twist in all different directions. One is like mastered the pranayam. One can have some 2000 strokes of that. What is that? Kapalabhati in one sitting, and one can do Shirshasan for practically 3 hours in one go. But he has achieved the end result, which is Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayor. Right. So Prabhupada says further, the real yogi is a devotee because his mind is always concentrated on the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, Krishna consciousness is topmost yoga system. What a beautiful statement. There is a book by Srila Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness, topmost yoga system. And you may remember that we have read this book very nicely, Krishna consciousness, topmost yoga system. Bhagavad Gita concludes this. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. That this is the topmost yoga system, is to become devotee of the Supreme Lord. Text 8. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya vijitaasana tasmin swasti samasinaha rujukayah samabhyesata. Translation.
After controlling one's mind and sitting posture, one should spread a seat in a secluded and sanctified place, sit there in an easy posture, keeping the body erect, and practice breath control. Purport: sitting in an easy posture is called Swati Samasina. It is recommended in yoga scripture that one should put the soles of the feet between the 2 thighs and anklets and sit straight. That posture will help one to concentrate his mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This very process is also recommended in Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter. It is further suggested that one sit in a secluded, sanctified spot. The seat should consist of deerskin and kushagrasa topped with cotton. Hare Krishna.
So now there is Shucha Udeshe Pratisthapya. The very, very same words comes in Bhagavad Gita. Shucha Udeshe Pratisthapya. Vijitasana Asanam. Tasmin Swasti Samasina. And then one should sit in a sanctified place, spread the seat on the sitting, which is supposed to be made up of deerskin and kushagrass. And there should be, on the top of that, there is cotton, Prabhupada writes in the purport. And this is called as Sukhasana. And one should easy posture, keeping the body erect, and practice the breath control. So this, we also have observed that whenever our mind wanders, the first indication of wandering of the mind is release of the posture. Okay. So I'll just repeat this. First indication says we are sitting for japa. Okay. And one should sit with the back erect. One is, his hands are on the knees. Japamala is on the other hand. Sometimes people have this dhyana mudra also. Simple mudra it is. Just putting the 2 fingers together, dhyana mudra, and one will sit like that. And one is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And one can observe oneself that when our back is straight and when our posture is correct, it is very difficult for mind to escape. And one indication of the mind escape is that immediately, our back will fall and, the hand will go like this. And the extreme level of mind escape is we will feel sleepy. Okay. So like that. So this first indication of mind control is within japa is the posture that we have. And that's why, the posture is so much stressed here. So keeping the body erect and practice the breath control. Even in Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami writes about this, that before japa, one should do some pranayama. Rupa Goswami writes that before japa, one can do just kumbhaka, rechaka, which is now immediately next verse it is coming, that one should do some pranayama so that one's mind is pacified, controlled, and then one comes to chanting the holy names. And Srila Prabhupada, writes that this process is very similar to what is recommended in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, text 9. Pranasya shodhayed margam purakumbhakarechakai pratikulena vachittam yatha sthiram achanchalam. Translation?
The yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. First, he should inhale very deeply, then hold the breath in and finally exhale. Or reversing the process, the yogi can first exhale, then hold the breath outside and finally inhale. This is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. Purport. These breathing exercises are performed to control the mind and fix it on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo. The devotee Ambarish Maharaj fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna 24 hours a day. The process of Krishna consciousness is to chant Hare Krishna and to hear the sound attentively so that the mind is fixed upon the transcendental vibration of Krishna's name, which is non-different from Krishna, the personality. The real purpose of controlling the mind by the prescribed method of clearing the passage of the life air is achieved immediately if one fixes his mind directly on the lotus feet of Krishna. The Hatha Yoga system or breathing system is especially recommended for those who are very absorbed in the concept of bodily existence. But one who can perform the simple process of chanting Hare Krishna can fix the mind more easily. 3 different activities are recommended for clearing the passage of breath: Puraka, Kumbhaka,
Yeah,
and
it's a
Rechaka.
long purport. We will go ahead up till here. Pranasya shodhayen margam puraka kumbhaka rechakai. Okay, so what is puraka kumbhaka rechakai? Puraka is inhaling, kumbhaka is, we have here Varsha Mataji, she is like champion yoga teacher. She can teach more on this. But this is, the yogi should clear the passage of vital air by breathing in the following manner. First, inhale very deeply. That is inhale. Then hold the breath and finally exhale. Or one can do the reverse order. First exhale, then hold the breath and then inhale. Okay, so both of this way. So what typically, in modern times, this is called as a box breathing. They will inhale, wait, exhale, wait, like that it is. So they have, if you just search on the Google box breathing, you will get many box breathing exercises. Okay. And then this is done so that the mind may become steady and free from external disturbances. So this is how pranayama is supposed to. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the breathing exercises are to control the mind. So why Prabhupada will write like this again and again? Because many times the conditioned soul, means all of us, Jiva, has a tendency to get attracted to something material. So even within the spiritual path, Dhyana Yoga is a spiritual path, but it has a material aspect. We have seen that first 5 of the Ashtanga, they have the material aspect. They are more preparatory stage. But a Jiva will have great tendency to put 90% energy in that. And when he is exhausted, he will say, Chod do, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi, chod do. I'm happy till Pratyahar only. So therefore, Prabhupada will write again and again that the breathing exercises are performed to control the mind. And for a devotee, control of the mind is achieved directly by the linking process of bhakti. Right? Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor. This is Ambarish Maharaj. So the process of Krishna consciousness is to chant Hare Krishna and hear the sound attentively so that the mind is fixed on the transcendental vibration of Krishna's name. Such a simple process and such a clear-cut process. I have my niece, Madhura, and I was just asking her, she is preparing for 12th, and I was asking her, are you doing some meditation? She's saying, yes, mom, I'm doing meditation. When I chant, I attentively hear. So this is meditation. And such a simple child. And then I also realized, oh my God, such a simple meditation it is. Our chanting is our own meditation. So Prabhupada writes here, our process is to chant Hare Krishna and hear the sound vibration attentively. And this is how the mind will be very powerfully controlled. Much more than the accomplished yogis like Vishwamitra and Saubhari. We are no comparison to Yama, Niyama, Asana and Pranayama compared to all these munis. But these munis will face a problem, but a devotee will pass through, tarishyami, taranti very easily, this examination of mind control. And the real purpose of controlling the mind, Prabhupada says, is immediately achieved by this linking process. The Hatha Yoga is recommended, Prabhupada writes here, is for somebody who is very deeply absorbed in the bodily consciousness, that he doesn't know anything beyond body. Then you say, okay, begin with body. Begin with these are the do's for the body, these are the don'ts for the body, these are the exercises for the body, this is the breathing for the body, these are the pratyahara, shutting of the body. Person is very deeply absorbed in the bodily consciousness. For them, the Hatha Yoga process is recommended. However, right, for a devotee can attain this more easily. Of course, a devotee will pick up few elements of this. Yama Niyama, we also follow 4 regulative principles and ABCD, association, books, chanting, diet. So these follow. And then asana, one can do some asana, 15 minutes, 20 minutes of asana one can do. Best is to do is Surya Namaskar, which combines all the asana. One can do pranayam. So 15 minutes of asana, 15 minutes of pranayam. Devotee also takes advantage of all this. But he will very easily attain the control of the mind by chanting the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and hearing the sound attentively. So this is the process. So the Upadharma should never cover over the Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma. This is very important. And Srila Prabhupada distinctively stands out on this, because again and again Prabhupada will be reminding us that our real process, we are devotees, and the Upadharma should never cover the Swadharma of a devotee. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, Prabhupada.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
Thank you,
Everyone,
everyone.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Very good.
Jai Boli Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Prabhu, you are saying about, like, of course, in the morning we try to always prefer chanting only, so we generally don't do any yogic processes like Surya Namaskar or pranayāma. Say 15 minutes of pranayāma, 15 minutes of Surya Namaskar would help, but can we do this in the evening or preferably only in the
Oh,
morning?
yes. Why not? You can do this in the evening.
Okay.
There are certain rules. I mean, that one should be empty stomach for 3 hours before doing Surya Namaskar.
Okay.
And yeah, so certain things are there, but one can very well do in the evening also.
Okay.
Right? Hare Krishna.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.